Part 21. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 201. Zhao Tong and Jin Xian were stunned. Wen Qiao was so brave. Isn't she afraid that Hai Mao would hit her in the face? It will be even worse then. But that's okay, it's more satisfying to be slapped in the face like this. Sulu's heart sank completely. Zhao Tong is too stupid, really stupid. Fu Nanli, who was in the last row, looked at the people on the stage, and Fu Cheng said softly, Mu Yu, a popular songwriter on the internet, has composed a song for the popular singer Shang Fan, and the song is very popular. Fu Nanli looked solemn and responded softly, well, let's go. Her performance was over, and he didn't want her to know that he'd come to see her. Fu Cheng was surprised, just leaving? Why don't you go backstage to give Xiao Wen a flower or something? No, let's go. The male reporter was still asking, are you sure you are Mu Yu? Wen Qiao was imposing, don't you believe that I am Mu Yu? The male reporter sneered, how could it be? How could it be? The news was immediately exposed on the internet. When Wen Qiao and the others changed their clothes and prepared to leave Siwen, a group of media were already stationed outside. There was some chaos backstage, and the staff worried, Xiao Wen, there are many reporters outside. Wen Qiao smiled, it's okay, you have a performance later, don't worry about us, we will go out on our own. I felt a little disappointed in my heart because Fu Nanli didn't come to see her performance. Won everyone's applause, but not his. She couldn't be happy. Lu Yuyu has the attitude of one man can stand against 10,000 others, if they dare to embarrass you, I'm not done with them. Chun Xiao and Lin Xiang also changed into their coats, gathered around Wen Qiao, and walked out. Lin Xiang, I didn't expect you to be Mu Yu. Chun Xiao said with starry eyes, Qiao, I admire you more and more, you are my goddess. Zhuang Yan instinctively followed them. He heard that a group of media were stationed at the front and back doors. She went out hastily and it would be difficult to escape. He wanted to help her. When he walked to the side door, his arm was suddenly grabbed by someone. When he turned around, it was Sulu who was wearing a mask. There was gauze exposed on the bridge of her nose. Now Sulu always dared not face Zhuang Yan directly. She felt that she was ugly and funny, and Wen Qiao brought all this to her. Zhuang Yan, you are going to perform soon, where are you going? Zhuang Yan looked gloomy, you are too lenient. I'm not trying to control you. You have to consider the reputation of the school. Many of the people who came to watch the performance today are big names in classical music and symphony circles. You can't be willful. Zhuang Yan gritted his teeth, I just went out to see her off. Do you know how long it will take? There are a lot of people outside. While the two were talking, Wen Qiao and the others had already left the gate. Reporters who were blocked by security guards swarmed in, and flashlights kept coming. Some people are born with extravagant thoughts about becoming famous. Wen Qiao doesn't, really not. She just wants to make money and become a big boss behind the scenes. Her private life is overly focused. She doesn't have this hobby. Lin Xiang and Lu Yuyu protected her while reaching out to push the cameras in their faces, sorry, don't take pictures, don't take pictures. Wen Qiao's face was still painted with retro makeup from the Republic of China. These photographers were addicted to taking pictures. There were no blind spots at 360 degrees, and they even forgot to ask her if she was Mu Yu. Chun Xiao was on the short side and followed behind, making no contribution and could only raise her voice, can you please give way? The media who were originally gathered around the back door heard about it and came, and dozens of people blocked the road. Two black cars were parked across the street. Fu Nanli was sitting in the back seat with a solemn expression, and finally got out of the car. Please vote for recommendation. I also recommend the new book by gay friend Tuzu, which is a super interesting article about the entertainment industry. Mrs. Jin always wants to get divorced and complain about CP. Author, Doubting Ding. Introduction, Jin Yining, a Grand Slam Best Actor winner in the entertainment industry, has outstanding looks, superb acting skills, comes from a wealthy family, and has a smooth life. But the actor has been having a headache recently. His wife always wants to push him into the arms of other men. Shangning, the #1 CP fan of movie king Jin Yining and popular niche actor Qin Wei, unexpectedly got into a car accident and turned out to be Jin Yining's secretly married wife. So Mrs. Jin is also having a headache recently. CP fans will never give up, but why does the male idol always pester her? What should I do if I just want to get divorced and take CP? Waiting online, urgent. A sweet piece about the entertainment industry, absolutely wonderful. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 202. The camera hit Wen Qiao's apple muscles with a clang, causing her pain so much that she almost made a move. She gritted her teeth and told herself that she couldn't make a move in public, she couldn't make a move. Lu Yuyu and Lin Xiang Chunxiao felt as if they were trapped in a zombie swarm, unable to break through the siege. Suddenly, the reporters were pushed away by a powerful force. Before Lu Yuyu could react, she was pulled aside. She screamed, "Who is it?" Wen Qiao was pulled into a broad embrace, with a familiar smell and familiar touch. She raised her head, and the dim light shone in his deep eyes. Although he was stern, Wen Qiao still felt warm in her heart. After Lu Yuyu saw clearly that it was Fu Nanli, she immediately became excited. A hero saves a beauty. It's so romantic. After all, Fu Nanli's bodyguards were all top-notch experts, so how could those reporters be their opponents? After a while, Fu Nanli took the person in his arms and walked across the sidewalk to the other side of the road. The reporters originally wanted to chase and take pictures, but when they saw the car model and license plate, they didn't dare to chase and take pictures. It seemed that he was some big shot, and they probably wouldn't be able to publish it if they took pictures. The car slowly left Siwen's door. Fu Nanli let go of her as soon as he got in the car. He was in a neat suit, handsome and dignified, and his expression was a bit arrogant. When he didn't speak, people didn't dare to come forward to talk rashly. Wen Qiao's tone was still cautious, "Did you happen to be passing by?" As soon as these words came out, Fu Nanli felt depressed for no reason. "I was just passing by," but he still said that. Lao Hu looked at his young master in the rearview mirror. Master, why are you doing this?" She obviously came on time, watched her performance carefully, and told Master Cheng that she performed well, but now she was duplicity and said she was just passing by. Wen Qiao nodded, "Thank you for helping me out." The street lights flickered on and off on her face. She stopped at a red light, and there happened to be a shopping mall outside. The light shone on her face, and he saw a bruise on her cheek. He couldn't help but said, "What's going on, already?" The fingers were also stretched out. Wen Qiao touched it casually, "It's okay, I was hit by that camera." Her skin is fair and tender, and a bruise will turn into a bruise when bumped casually, which makes people feel innocent and pitiful. Fu Nanli was relieved. When he got downstairs from his apartment, Wen Qiao had no intention of getting out of the car. He opened the car door for her. "Why don't you get out of the car?" Wen Qiao looked up at him, "Do you want me to go to your place?" The wrist was grabbed and the person was pulled out of the car. Apparently he thought her question was nonsense. After grabbing him, he didn't let go. Wen Qiao followed him and was taken back to the apartment. His apartment has a high ceiling, a sensor light at the entrance, and a remote control for the lights in the hall. He pressed the remote control, and the lights everywhere turned on. He went straight to the kitchen, and Wen Qiao followed him. You haven't you had dinner? Let me help you cook it? I learned a few dishes from my mother and I will cook it soon. No, go sit in the living room. Wen Qiao didn't leave, but followed him, with a slightly flattering smile on his face, which made Fu Nanli's heart tighten inexplicably. She was afraid of him, so she tried to please him. He took an egg out of the refrigerator and turned to look at her. Wen Qiao, go sit in the living room. I want to help you. I want to buy you stars. I want to help you find the murderer. I want to build a Hope Primary School for you. I want to do what I can for you. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 203. After all, Fu Nanli couldn't hold back. He reached out and pulled her into his arms, kissed the top of her head, and said in a helpless voice, I'm just boiling an egg. No need for help. If you want to stay here, just keep it. He gave in to the world. He compromised with Wen Qiao. There was no way he could keep her cold. He reached out and turned on the fire and pressed a timer. After 9 minutes, the eggs were cooked. After a while, they were soaked in cold water and pulled her to the living room. The purple color on her cheeks was obvious, and he pressed the egg against her face. Wen Qiao looked at him with a smile, I'm really not that delicate. Fu Nanli pressed the button lightly but did not answer. Our performance in Siwen tonight was quite successful. I wore a cheongsam. The cheongsam was quite beautiful. It's a pity that you didn't see it. Fu Nanli held her chin with his slender fingers, held the egg in his right hand and gently pressed it on her cheek. His eyes were slightly swollen, and his Adam's apple slid up and down. It's very beautiful, so beautiful that people can't take their eyes away. After the performance, there was a lot of applause and the audience liked it very much. We performed 2 songs, one was House of Flying Daggers and the other was Butterfly Lovers. Wen Qiao was not a talkative person, and she was always calm when she was with others, but now, she was afraid of being left alone, so she kept talking. At the Siwen Art Center, Shang Fan hurried over and the reporters had already dispersed. As soon as he saw Mu Yu being exposed online, he hurried over with his junior sister, thinking of helping Mu Yu share the firepower. A top idol with a girl would definitely attract the attention of reporters. He would fight for teacher Mu Yu. Unexpectedly, Mu Yu was already taken away by someone when they hurried over. I really didn't expect Mu Yu to be able to break through the siege and escape. It seemed that his trip was in vain. Wen Qiao's phone vibrated. She quickly picked up the video invitation from Shang Fan. What's wrong? Fu Nanli paused with his fingers and continued to help her reduce the swelling. Shang Fan's voice came from the other end, Teacher Mu Yu, have you left Siwen? I was thinking of coming over to help you attract the attention of those reporters. Wen Qiao. How do you attract? I came out with my junior sister. Reporters will definitely not let go of my scandal. Wen Qiao, does your agent allow you to do this? Using himself to stir up scandals to divert her attention would be too much of a sacrifice for him. My agent can't control me, but when I went there, you had already left. Fu Nanli's eyes were dark, and there were many people who wanted to help her out. If he doesn't show up, someone else will. And he couldn't help but watch another man beside her. Wen Qiao, well, I got out of trouble successfully. I have to ask brother how to help me solve the comments on the internet. I still don't want to make a big deal about it. Please help me tell brother how. Brother how knows, but the scenes of you being blocked do not appear on the internet. Wen Qiao, really? Fu Nanli glanced at her, and Wen Qiao felt his breathing slightly heavy, and quickly said to Shang Fan, okay, I won't talk to you anymore. He hung up the phone and looked at Fu Nanli. Did you let people control online speech? Fu Nanli still held her chin and pressed the egg gently. Well, let Fu Chen negotiate. Mr. Fu, in one sentence, which media is so desperate for life and dares to commit a crime? Naturally, there is no news about Wen Qiao on the internet. Wen Qiao put his hands on his knees tentatively. His attitude was strange, and Wen Qiao tested his bottom line bit by bit. The big hand wrapped around her little hand, it was warm and the fingers were tender. Our school has a choir on Christmas Eve and I have a solo performance. Do you have time to watch it then? I have work on Christmas Eve, but I can't go. After a pause, he said, I really have work. Oh, okay, let's talk about it next time we have a chance. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 204. Fu Nanli looked into the girl's eyes, sincerely, wanting him to see her best performance. He could clearly see the faint disappointment in her eyes. He always felt compassion for her. Does it still hurt? Wen Qiao shook his head. I didn't feel any pain at all. It's just bumping into each other, how can it be so delicate? Send you back. This time, he followed Wen Qiao to the alley of her home. Wen Qiao got out of the car, with the window half opened. Fu Nanli waved to her, go back quickly. Her hair was messed up in the cold wind. She lowered her body and waved to him, well, goodbye. Seeing her thin back walking on the blue stone, Fu Nanli always felt a faint pain in his heart. Lao Hu said cautiously, Master, why didn't you tell Xiao Wen? You obviously went to see her performance. Fu Nanli withdrew his gaze and said calmly, let's go. He didn't realize that punishing her would hurt him. Lao Hu didn't dare to say anything and drove away quickly. At the Wenxi Art Center, all the performances were over. As soon as Chuan Yan let go of his violin, he hurried out of the performance hall. The audience was leaving outside, and Wen Qiao could no longer be seen. When she said she was Miu Yu, he was extremely shocked. She turned out to be Miu Yu. Sulu followed him, watching his eyes searching for something in the crowd, and knew that he was looking for Wen Qiao. Wen Qiao had an additional identity, Miu Yu, and the identity of a talented woman. Her aura became even more dazzling. She once wanted to hint that she was Miu Yu and was slapped in the face so badly, but now. Why should Wen Qiao appear in her life? She hates this arrangement of fate. She clenched her fists and vowed that she must be better than Wen Qiao. She must get the Lily Award before Wen Qiao. She wants to prove to everyone that she is the best, she wants to perform in the Golden Hall, she wants to have her own concert tour, and she cannot be defeated by mere setbacks. The cold wind was blowing, and the driver of the banker drove over to pick up Chuan Yan. Chuan Yan couldn't find it, so he had to get in the car. Sitting in the car, he hesitated for a long time before sending a message to Wen Qiao, did you get home safely? But I didn't receive a reply for a long time. I was so angry that I threw my phone on the seat and said, I shouldn't say anything. Haven't he seen Wen Qiao's bad temper? Why not be sensible? Sulu walked out and met Zhao Tong and Jin Xian. The two were still complacent, thinking that Hai Mao would definitely come out and slap Wen Qiao in the face tonight. Jin Xian, you didn't even see Wen Qiao acting like that just now. How could she dare to be so determined? Zhao Tong still has some brains, you said Shang Fan has cooperated with Wen Qiao. Will he help her cover up her lies? Jin Xian, can Miu Yu really endure it? It's easy to talk about other things. I don't think Hai Mao can help her in this matter. Zhao Tong, it makes sense. Sulu held her forehead speechlessly, took a step forward, and called Zhao Tong, did you arrange for today's reporter? Zhao Tong, yes, I arranged it. Sulu sighed, have you ever thought about what if Wen Qiao is really Miu Yu? Zhao Tong sneered, Impossible, Lulu, you composed music when you were in high school. You composed Sing Bridge. Now you can't be popular even if you compose music. Who does Wen Qiao mean? I've never heard of it. But she still has talent in this area. Sulu was speechless and choked. The matter had come to this, and there was nothing she could do to undo anything. Thank you everyone for your reward. I have sent you a thank you letter. Please check it. Please vote for recommendation. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 205. Don't worry, Lulu, Hai Mao has always been unambiguous in clarifying this matter. The official statement tonight will definitely slap Wen Qiao in the face. Sulu, haha. The group returned to school, and Jin Xian also went to their dormitory. They all held their mobile phones and followed the news on Hai Mao's official blog. Until 12 o'clock in the evening, there was no movement on Hai Mao's official blog. The slap in the face scene they were looking forward to did not happen. Jin Xian, the planner of this operation, became a little uneasy and said quickly, if we don't issue a statement today, we will definitely issue it tomorrow. You have also seen that although they did not come out to deny it, they did not claim it. If they did not claim it, it means Wen Qiao not Mu Yu. Wen Qiao had to admit that she was Mu Yu only after being questioned about the situation at the door of her house. She had already told brother how to handle the matter in advance. She did not want the matter to escalate. Originally a composer behind the scenes, Shang Fan attracted more attention mainly because he was a top performer. After 2 days, no one would be chasing her to report on her. In order to reduce the heat, it can only be treated coldly. Sulu glanced at Jin Xian and had nothing to say. Zhao Tong really found a pig teammate and took a towel into the bathroom to take a shower. Tweeted, Hai Mao music director Song Hao posted it on Weibo. Sulu immediately left the bathroom. She still had a little hope in her heart. She hoped that Mu Yu was not Wen Qiao and that a miracle would happen. At Song Hao, I hope all media friends will not pay too much attention to our behind-the-scenes teachers and cause inconvenience to the teachers' lives. She also said not to occupy too many public resources. At Shang Fan's new EP is already in post-production. It will be released before Christmas. I hope everyone will pay more attention to the new song. Thank you all media friends for your cooperation. Thank you all. After Jin Xian finished reading word for word, Sulu's heart sank to the bottom, and she returned to the bathroom with a sullen face. A slap in the face? The slaps are clearly on the faces of those with evil intentions. For example, Jin Xian, Zhao Tong, and herself. Her heart was heaving violently. Now she was really jealous of Wen Qiao. After going to college, everything changed. The Wen Qiao that everyone could laugh at in the 9th middle school was now above her. The limelight lasted for a while. She will change the situation, she will definitely change. Zhao Tong was stunned, what do you mean? Why didn't you deny that Wen Qiao was Mu Yu? Jin Xian was a little flustered, but I didn't admit that Wen Qiao was Mu Yu. Zhao Tong threw the book in his hand, isn't this just a disguised claim? Do you think she is stupid? Jin Xian was at a loss for words. Zhao Tong breathed out, it's all your fault. You spent a lot of time and hired so many sailors to set the pace online. In the end, you fulfilled Wen Qiao and made her famous. Jin Xian could only give in, I'm sorry, I didn't think carefully. Zhao Tong's temples were pounding and he had a severe headache, let's go back to your dormitory. Don't bother me here. Jin Xian ran away quickly. Zhao Tong was so angry that she cursed the 3-character classic. In order to mess with Wen Qiao, she not only worked hard, but also spent a lot of money. You can't spend money to hire a navy. The reporters were not allowed to spend money, but in the end, they didn't expect that all the money was wasted, and Wen Qiao had to endure the glory. Just thinking about it makes me angry. Just thinking about it makes me feel sick. That night, Wen Qiao was lying on the bed, tossing and turning and having trouble falling asleep. Fu Nanli had a strange attitude. He ignored her for more than 10 days and was indifferent to her, but in the past few days, he seemed to have warmed to her again. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 206. He probably still hasn't recovered his memory and doesn't know she is a liar, right? Otherwise, it would be impossible to feel sorry for her injury. She wanted to confess several times, but he also stopped her from talking. Wen Qiao held the quilt and listened to the cold wind howling outside the window, thinking to herself, what on earth had happened to him? The next day we went to school. In the cafeteria, the four of us were sitting together having breakfast. Suddenly, several girls ran over with small notebooks and stared at Wen Qiao with admiration on their faces. Are you really Mu Yu? Wen Qiao forced a smile. Can you sign an autograph for us? Your performance last night was great, and the music you composed was also great. These girls are all students in the folk music department. They were not taken seriously in school. Now that the folk music department suddenly has such a high-achieving talent, they are proud of it. Although many students of Western music like Shangfan and the Songjing, they couldn't help but feel embarrassed because of their appearance. It's just a song, there's no need to be so proud. Lu Yuyu slapped the table, and Wen Qiao pulled her back. My sister, calm down. Lu Yuyu, you are so awesome and yet you still suffer from their cowardice. Lin Xiang, when they say shit, not every shit needs a response. Lu Yuyu's fancy rainbow fart, we, Qiao, are the ones who will achieve great things at first sight. We don't stick to trivial matters. A sour voice came from behind. Didn't I just compose a song? As for that, I even held a signing party, tisk. Besides Miss Zhao, who else could be so flirtatious? Lu Yuyu folded her arms and sneered, it's not that big of a deal, it's just a 6-digit quarterly royalty fee. Zhao Tong rolled his eyes, I have the nerve to come up with 6 figures, but who is the poor one? Lu Yuyu puffed out, have you ever made a penny on your own? Why do you still rely on your father to feel proud? You. What am I? Who allowed you to appear in the same place as me? You lost a bet and you deny it? You have 10 seconds to disappear, get out. Zhao Tong was so angry that he wanted to hit someone. After signing, Lu Yuyu said earnestly, although our Qiao composed a song, we are still students like everyone else. We don't need to be like this in the future. We don't need to chase her like a star, you know. Yes, I understand. After studying in the evening, Lin Xiang went to the backdoor convenience store to buy some food. As soon as she left the convenience store, she saw Sulu and planned to turn a blind eye, but Sulu stopped her with a smile. Lin Xiang. Are you willing to have all of you serve as Wen Qiao's foil? Your level is no worse than hers, but Wen Qiao is the only one who takes the limelight. Don't you think she is too selfish? Lin Xiang, are you sowing discord? Sulu. Why the hell don't you play by the rules? Lin Xiang, if you want to sow discord, please watch 2 more episodes of Gongdu. I think your level is a bit weak. The tone is so humming sincere. After saying that, he carried a few buckets of instant noodles and entered the back door. Sulu was left messy in the wind. He Yan designed a necklace and won an international jewelry award. He Wan held a banquet in Xiaotangshan to celebrate her. All of He Wan's friends came to support him. Fu Nanli took Wen Qiao there. It was cold, so Wen Qiao took off his outer coat, and underneath was a ginger yellow thick woolen sweater. The beauty was dissolved a bit, making him look a bit cute. The large private room was well heated. As soon as the two of them entered the private room, Fu Cheng came up to say hello. Xiao Wen, your performance that night was really great. My brother couldn't take his eyes off it. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 207. Fu Nanli didn't have time to stop him, so he clicked his tongue and said, "Talk too much." Wen Qiao was stunned for a moment, then grabbed his sleeve and whispered, "Did you go that night?" Fu Cheng was talkative again, "Didn't my brother tell you?" Fu Nanli glanced at Fu Cheng, and Fu Cheng hurriedly said, "I won't disturb you anymore. I'll take a seat first." Wen Qiao asked again, "You went?" Fu Nanli lowered his eyes, her fingers holding onto his sleeves, her movements somewhat cautious. He leaned against the wall, grabbed her hand, and said, "Yes, let's go. You're not just passing by, you're here to watch my performance, right?" The twinkling lights in her eyes instinctively wanted to make her happy and make her laugh. "Then why did you say you didn't go?" Fu Nanli didn't answer, and the two of them stood at the entrance of the private room. He Yan inside heard Fu Nanli's voice just now, but no one came in, so she got up and walked to the entrance. She saw Fu Nanli leaning against the wall with his hand on the girl's waist. This gesture was filled with incomparable tenderness. My heart suddenly hurt, and I forced out a smile. "Nanli, you are here, why don't you come in?" Fu Nanli looked over with a hint of displeasure in his eyes, and He Yan looked a little embarrassed. He Wan came over and took her wrist. "What do you care about him? He is willing to be intimate with his little friend. You let them be gentle for a while." The person was dragged away. He Yan's heart was heaving and her face was ashen. He Wan lowered his voice and said, "How many times do you need me to say this?" He Yan gritted her teeth and said nothing. At the entrance, Fu Nanli looked like a statue, not moving because of He Yan's visit. The light in the entrance hall shone down, and the coldness of the people in Zhenzhou seemed to be restraining the surge of love for her. "Then my performance that night, was it good?" My cheongsam belongs to a friend of my classmate. The makeup is made by Yu. It's retro makeup. Yu is good at makeup. Does it look good?" Fu Nanli's Adam's apple rolled. He took a few photos and took them out to look at a few times every day. Not only were they beautiful, they actually looked like a seductive fairy, which made it difficult for people to control themselves. He held her hand and led her to the private room without responding directly to her words. Entering the private room, Fu Cheng continued, "Today is to celebrate He Yan's winning the grand prize in the international jewelry competition, and secondly, to celebrate the fact that our Xiao Wen is MOU. He Jun said, Mu. He Yan's limelight was instantly snatched away. Wasn't this meal just to celebrate her winning the award? Wen Qiao waved his hands quickly, "That's not worth mentioning, so there's no need to celebrate with great fanfare." Fu Nanli held her hand and said, "Why is it not worth mentioning? At the age of 19, you have composed such a popular and widely sung song. You are indeed talented. There is no need to be too modest." Fu Cheng echoed, "That's right." Fu Cheng even took out his mobile phone, opened the music app, and clicked on the song Zhengzhi. Several people followed and listened to the song composed by Wen Qiao. Wen Qiao obviously became the most popular one. He Yan's hand holding the wine glass tightened slightly and she gave Wen Qiao a meaningful look. The little girl was very good at stealing the limelight. Wen Qiao came close to Fu Nanli's ear and whispered, "Didn't you come here today to celebrate He Yan? Isn't that not good?" Fu Nanli said calmly, she shouldn't mind. Men, straight men, always underestimate the competitiveness of women. Although Wen Qiao also has a straight mentality, Lu Yuyu's upbringing made her feel that it was not a good thing to steal the limelight. Please vote for recommendation. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 208. Let Brother Cheng shut it down. Let's have a good meal and praise He Yan's talent. This is the theme of tonight's dinner, isn't it? Fu Chenji cheered, Xiao Wen, I didn't expect you to be so talented. Fu Chuan was expressionless and drank alone. Wen Qiao reached for the phone, let's eat. Stop praising her. Praising her as an enemy will not be worth the gain. Fu Cheng joked, brother, let's open a music company for your children. He Yan mentioned it heartily. Fu Nanli said calmly, eat. The way He Yan looked at Wen Qiao was somewhat meaningful. I heard before that Fu Nanli bought 9th middle school for Wen Qiao. Normally, opening a music production company is a trivial matter for Fu Nanli, but he did not make his position clear. Does this mean that I am tired of this little girl? He Yan felt a little happier. The topic finally turned to He Yan. He Yan took out her award-winning jewelry. The dark red velvet square box slowly opened, and the crystal chandelier gave off a dazzling light. Wen Qiao sincerely praised, so beautiful. He Wan is naturally proud of his sister. The contestants this time are all top jewelry designers from various countries. Xiao Yan is indeed talented in this area. Fu Chen naturally supported him, and everyone supported him, and Fu Chuan also responded. Fu Nanli alone did not speak. He Wan said, Nanli, what do you think? Fu Nanli said calmly, I haven't done any research on these, but they look beautiful. The tone is slightly perfunctory. He Yan didn't take it to heart, because Wen Qiao poured the juice for herself tonight, and Fu Nanli didn't help her with every detail. It's really different from before. In the past, Fu Nanli really felt like holding this little girl in the palm of his hand, without caring about the opinions of others. Now, it's gone. Fu Nanli didn't understand this at all, and there was no need for him to please anyone and flatter anyone. He could just make a perfunctory compliment and make her happy. Wen Qiao ate in silence, minimizing his presence. Fu Nanli didn't help her pick up the food or pour her drinks today, but she was quite nervous and didn't take such trivial matters to her heart. After eating and drinking, she gently put down her chopsticks, and Fu Nanli discussed business matters with them. The profits of 9th middle school seemed to be very limited, just to allow Xiao Wen's younger brother to continue studying. Nanli, you are doing charity. He Wan said. He Yan's eyes darkened, her brother was not picking up the pot. Fu Nanli smiled, make some contribution to education. Fu Cheng echoed, this brother is rich, let him do some charity. Wen Qiao put his hands on the edge of the table and listened to them without interrupting. He was very quiet. Fu Nanli turned around and saw some cream from the dessert on the corner of her mouth. He instinctively picked up the towel on the side and wiped the corner of her mouth with familiarity. The tension in He Yan's heart was broken again. The feeling was indescribable, as if Fu Nanli was deliberately trying not to take care of her, but he instinctively and subconsciously wanted to take care of her. The reason he didn't take care of her was because he didn't want her to receive too much attention. It wasn't that the relationship between the two had faded. This realization made He Yan breathless. Fu Cheng suggested, let's play cards after dinner, either mahjong or poker. Fu Nanli put the kerchief on the table, she is going back. The kid should go back early. The main thing is that if she is here, we will be waiting to give her money. I don't dare to play cards with her. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 209. Fu Nanli's tone was full of pride, good at mathematics. Okay, these two math geniuses should leave quickly. When Wen Qiao returned home, he unexpectedly received a message from Wen Jianmin: if you are willing to have more contact with me, I will hand over Heiwen to you. Heiwen is a factory owned by Wen Jianmin. After Wen Qiao received the news, he went to check it out. She has a thorough understanding of Heiwen's ERP system, the entire operating process and financial system. Wen Jianmin is not kind. This factory is an empty shell. It looks bright on the outside, but in fact it is crumbling and is prone to collapse. He wanted to create an image of a loving father, but he was reluctant to spend money. Wen Qiao lowered her head and smiled. Why did she fall in love with such a father? Wen Qiao didn't reply. Wen Jianmin on the other end was a little annoyed and cursed, "You damn girl is really greedy." Zhong Hui had a lot of eyes, and when she learned that Wen Jianmin was going to allocate a factory to that place, she suddenly felt that the sky was about to collapse. Her Lulu was born to her and her ex-husband. She was not a bargaining chip in this war, and Xian was still young. If they really wanted to fight, they would definitely not be able to win over that girl Wen Qiao. Her chances of winning were so slim that she instantly felt a sense of crisis. She can be considered a person with a long-term vision. Since she married into the Wen family, she has slowly brought one of her younger brothers and a younger sister into Wen Jianmin's group company. Her brother Zhonghai works as a senior executive in the sales department, and her sister Zhonying works as a manager in the purchasing department. She thought, if it came to a last resort, she would have to do something. Fu Nanli did not take Wen Qiao to watch the football match in Los Angeles, but it did not prevent her from learning from the internet that Fu Nanli's team Qiao won the championship in the rugby league, and the team's value soared. Financial reports predicted it is estimated that the team owner will make back the money he spent buying the team in one season. Wen Qiao was stunned. It was so easy for rich people to make money from money. But I am also happy for Fu Nanli. He has a business acumen and a very accurate vision. His uncles, elders, and cousins in the Fu family are not his opponents, at least in the business world. Their Fu family's property will not be easily snatched away by others. When Qi was doing his homework, cursing while writing, I don't see Xiao Mo reading very often. Why is he ranked first in grade? Is it because all the nutrients were supplied to him when he was in the stomach? Why is his IQ unbalanced? Wen Qiao hit him on the head. How many people can pass this final exam? Top 10. Wen Qiao raised his eyebrows. If you really make it into the top 10, I'll buy you a new computer with the highest configuration and the highest end mechanical keyboard and mouse. Wen Qi pointed at her. It's a deal. It's a deal. Su Yun came out of the room with a red envelope in her hand. Wen Qiao quickly said, a red envelope for Soleil. Okay. Just pay 600, the market price is 600. Su Yun glanced at her, is 600 too little? Wen Qiao vomited out the skin of melon seeds. What's missing? We are just ordinary people. If we don't slap ourselves in the face and pretend to be fat, we only get 600. On December 6th, an auspicious day, the Su family and the Yu family held their wedding banquet at the most luxurious hotel in the city. Wen Qiao and the others got out of the taxi, and Wen Qi put his hands in his pockets. It costs a lot of money to serve wine here. Wen Qiao raised his eyebrows. It seems that there is still some room left. Buying a house didn't cost them all. There was a small table at the entrance of the living room, with a gift book on the table, and even a money-counting machine next to it. Guests filed in and paid their share. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 210. Su Yun was a little worried. Isn't 600 too few? Wen Qiao took the red envelope from her hand. It's quite a lot, I'll hand it over. Finally it was Wen Qiao's turn. She saw her cousin Su Ying standing behind the middle-aged man who was ordering red envelopes. Wen Qiao handed over the red envelope, and the accountant took out the money from the red envelope. Su Ying couldn't help but roll her eyes. It took a while for other people's red envelopes to pass through the money counting machine, but their 6 bills passed by with a clatter, 6, and again, 6. The female mechanical voice attracted the attention of many people. The accountant looked at them with a bit of contempt and started to register their names. Su Ying snorted lightly, 4600, 4 people are here to have a drink. Are you here to do favors or to collect debts? Wen Xiao, you're not welcome. If you're not welcome, let's go. There's no need to spend the 600. Her Aunt He quickly grabbed her and said, don't listen to Xiaoying. They are all relatives. Visitors are guests. It's up to you to decide how much you want. Just get what you want. Su Ying was angry and muttered from the side, I am so angry that I can't stand on the stage. Wen Xiao shrugged, we are originally a small family and we don't pretend to be wealthy. After that, she walked to the banquet living room with her mother and brother. Su Ying folded her arms and rolled her eyes, shabby. The cell phone in her hand suddenly rang, her originally gloomy face immediately turned into a smile, and she went out to meet her boyfriend. The Su family is indeed outstanding in terms of IQ. Wen Xiao's cousin Sule and cousin Su Ying both attended Haikan's #1 university, Fukai University. Right next to Wen Xiao's Yanjian, the living areas are all together. Su Ying is a junior in college this year and has a boyfriend who majors in computer science. He is a famous figure in Fukai University. He enthusiastically led Wen Xiao's family to the table next to the main table. Uncle Su Hai also looked at Wen Xiao fawningly. Wen Xiao has become a composer, and he is considered a public figure. This girl is indeed capable. Such a capable relative, of course, has to move around more. Wen Xiao and Wen Qi had a look on their face, while Wen Mo had no expression. Only Su Yun gave them face and congratulated them a few times. As soon as Wen Xiao took a sip of tea, he saw Su Ying leading a boy towards them. The boy was wearing a camel coat. He was not very tall, at least not as tall as Wen Qi and Wen Mo. He wore glasses and had an ordinary appearance. When he got closer, he noticed that his eyes were both aloof and unruly, belonging to a top student. Su Ying deliberately stood in front of Wen Xiao, let me introduce you. Wen Xiao continued to drink tea without standing up. There's no need for the sisterly drama of dressing up, right? Su Ying tugged on Wen Xiao's collar, and Wen Qi slapped Su Ying's hand away, what are you doing? Just talk, what are you talking about? She has nurse written all over her face. Su Ying's face was a little confused, I will introduce someone to you, can you at least stand up and be polite? Wen Xiao, if we don't stand up, it means we don't want to know him. Can't you see that? Su Ying's little pride was all written in her eyes. She didn't know what she wanted to show off, so naturally she wouldn't flatter her. The boy suddenly said, who are they to you? The corner of Su Ying's mouth twitched and she said, they are my cousin and cousin. Their mother is my aunt. Her name is Wen Xiao and she is in Yanjian. The boy looked at Wen Xiao, and Wen Xiao actually saw contempt in his eyes. Monday is here again. As usual, please vote for recommendations.